everybody, it's Rob, and it is time for a brand new episode of Member Talks. Super excited to bring you this one today. We've got two ladies that are joining us from Memphis, Tennessee. We met them. I first heard of them back at Cana, at the Cana convention in August. Nelson Sanchez from Frigid Fluid said, if you ever get a chance, if you ever get down to Memphis, if you ever have an opportunity to reach out, you need to find these two gals and talk with them. And we've got Madeline, who goes by Mel, the mortician. I love it. And Dana from After Life. Hi.
Hi. Thank you.
How you doing?
This is awesome. I'm pumped. I really am. I'm pumped. I wanted to get on here and talk with you. I know Nelson really just talks a lot of good stuff about you, but I had the opportunity to head down to Nashville, and lo and behold, there's the two of you, the people that he's telling me I got to go meet, I got to go talk to sometime. There you are.
Yeah, now that's crazy. Like Mel said before, I guess it all worked out perfectly.
Yeah, serendipitous. Well, this is cool. I wanted to chat with you because what I found out about you after kind of looking about on your website and stuff, what I found out about you is that the two of you combined partnered to become the first, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's the first female African-American funeral home in Memphis, Tennessee. Is it?
Yes, established, owned, and operated by women in Tennessee.
That's awesome. In Tennessee, in Memphis.
Yes.
That is super cool. Now, when did this take place? When did you guys open up?
We opened on October the 8th, 2018. So we just celebrated 3 years not too long ago.
Good for you.
Yes.
That, it's amazing to me. 2018. I mean, and now you're the very first. It's taken this long for somebody to be the front runner, and the two of you emerged to become the very first fully female-owned African-American funeral home. That is super cool. That's history.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It definitely is history. We didn't expect that opening up. We didn't really notice that. I think somebody brought it to our attention after we opened, but that was just, I guess, icing on top of the cake, opening up a new business and find out that you made some type of history.
Right.
The forerunners.
We've just been working. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've worked now. We've both been morticians over 12 years. And so, once we came together and decided to start our own business, it's like newspapers and everything started coming out, and they were like, it's the first, like you women are the first to do this, because other, individuals have been married into businesses and things like that, or they were generational companies. And so we're actually a first generation company as well. So just paving the way, through funeral services for the next generation to come.
That's really cool. Now, how did the two of you connect? How did you know each other before all this, or how did the two of you find each other?
Yes, we met maybe like in 2008 or 9. We were both working as forensic techs at the medical exam office here in Shelby County in Memphis. And we worked together for about a year or so. And then we just kept in contact after that. I left and went to work at a funeral home here in Memphis, and we just kept in touch over the years. And around 2015 or so, Mel contacted me about a business plan and a business idea that she had. And so we met up, and she showed me, and, we exchanged ideas and just different things that we basically had in common, referring to the possible business. So we agreed, and that's how it all got started.
That's awesome. And you guys, I'm looking at your website right now, and it even that is kind of in the forerunner market, I guess you could say. So often you look at funeral home websites and they're all cookie cutter. They look the same. You guys have gone out and said, nope, we're doing it on our own. We're gonna make the mold or break the mold and make our own new one. And even your website's totally different than anything else you see.
Yeah, that is interesting you say that.
I know, right?
As a non-web designer myself, I actually, we're starting out, we're doing everything out of pocket. So I designed the website, I guess look off of a win, like we got to get this website up and running. So I figured it out.
Yeah. Well, it looks great. It really does turn out well. And there's a lot of great photos of the two of you there.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool. How is business for you right now? Is it picking up? Is it steady? Is it, are people coming to you because of the fact that you are all female or?
Right.
Yes, yeah, that's definitely the case, because a lot of people have heard about us. Like, we did get a lot of press when we first opened up by making history. So we were on the front page of the local paper. We were on the news. So our name got out there pretty well just for a new startup business. So
Right.
a lot of people definitely have said, like, I want those two girls to get me when I pass away. Like, so we get a lot of that. And then also the families that we have served, they always recommend their friends and their family and coworkers to us. So we've had a lot of repeat clients, to people that we're connected to from previous services.
Yeah. Yeah. So out here where we're at in Washington, we find that a lot of funeral homes are named after the owner or the original owner that created the funeral home. It'd be their last name, Smith Funeral Home or something like that. How did you come up with After Life? Because that's, for us, at least in Washington, that's a totally unheard of type of a name for a funeral home.
Yeah. So, and I give the credit where it's due. God gave me the name when I was 19. I was sitting thinking of a company name and just going over different terms and, looking through the thesaurus and stuff like that. And Afterlife, came to me, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Afterlife Mortuary Services. And so I just held on to it all those years. And one evening I was actually sitting at home reading the Bible, and this is when I'm like 25 years old. Mm-hmm. And the word ALMS stood out to me, ALMS. And I heard the Lord speak to me clearly, and he said, this is what it's about. This is what you do. And that's when I realized that the acronym for the funeral home is ALMS, ALMS, which is to give or give to others or those in need. And so it just blew my mind because, like I said, at 19 is when he gave me the name. And at 25, he revealed it to me, and so that's one of our biggest things is to make sure that we give back and give when we can. We're still building and everything, but just to be philanthropists, to be sponsors and in partnership with sponsors, to give and do for others beyond funeral services, it's a blessing to do that. So just knowing that that's what we're here to do.
So was that when that was revealed to you, that acronym, and it all kind of came to fruition, if you will, what was that like? What was that experience? Was it just like, holy cow, here it is. I finally understand it.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. I just started crying because I was like, me? I'm like, am I really hearing this? And to process it and like, wow, he chose me to do this. And knowing that the way he connected Dana and I, and she has the same heart, about alms and about giving and doing for others. So it's just like knowing that we're moving in his will, and going off of what he's orchestrated for us to do. It's just really a blessing. It's overwhelming and it's fulfilling every day.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So were you, I know you said you kind of started young. Have you always wanted to be in the funeral profession? Has this been kind of a dream for the both of you, or is it just one of those things that sort of naturally progressed into, hey, I think this would be a good move to be able to serve people?
I think we both, from a young age, me, I was 16. I was in high school when I first just, realized that this was a field that I wanted to work in, and not having, of course, any family working in it. My parents were like, where did you get that from? But it really was just something that was interesting to me, like going to funerals. I always wanted to know more, like what happened behind the scenes, like how did they get in that casket? Like, so it started pretty young. So And for Mel, I think she was how 13.
Yeah, I was 13. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
13
and that's
years
really
old.
young.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
we both knew at an early age that we wanted to work at a funeral home in some capacity.
Yeah. And now you're leading the way. You're
We're trying. We're trying.
we doing, yeah, we're doing that part.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool. One thing that really caught my attention in talking with you, well, not necessarily talking with you, but looking at the website, you guys have something, we talk about giving back and doing stuff for the community that we serve. You guys there at Afterlife are really focused on that. I can tell just in your photographs and talking with you, but you do something that's rather unique, something that I've never seen before. You have a funeral service education camp for kids to teach them about funeral service. Right.
Well, it's not just funeral services. It's funeral services and professions that are in relation or that work closely with funeral services.
Okay.
And so we provide 2 weeks of hands-on experience and training in funeral services, forensics, cremation, cemetery ownership, crematorium ownership, and cremation processing. They also met homicide investigators. Who else? They met morticians from the Navy. So knowing that that's available as a career as well.
Yeah.
And also a restorative artist from Arizona, Miss Monica Torres. You might know her.
Oh, yeah.
So we gave them 2 weeks of hands-on experience and engagement with those different professionals who work in death care, as we call it. So not just funeral services, and we let them meet local morticians and other funeral home owners as well there in the city of Memphis, but just every profession that we could round up that's, in relation to funeral services. And so they were able to go to the crematorium and witness an actual cremation. They toured one of our historical cemeteries and learned about even the stonework, and that was something that we learned about the career of, as well as, like I said, homicide investigation, forensics, tissue and organ donation. They were able to witness and tour MARY, which is the Medical Education Research Institute, where individuals donate their bodies to science.
Right.
So that was one of their engagements as well.
And these are local kids that are in your area. Did you just how did this all come to pass? Did you just like, hey, I got an idea. Let's bring some kids down to the funeral home and teach them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle had that idea. She had like in her notebook of things like that she planned way years ahead of time, but that was an idea that she had that we were able to bring to fruition, and we put it on our Facebook page. Of course, we told people about it, but it ended up being on the local news, and it was like had a big billboard on the side of the interstate, and it was like, would you send your kids to funeral camp? And it's like at the funeral home. So it got a lot of publicity, like, because people were like, funeral camp at the funeral home, like, what are they going to do? But it was a big hit, and it really, the kids, they enjoyed it so much. Like it was even better than we thought it was going to be. Like, they really enjoyed it.
The children came from as far as like Olive Branch, Mississippi, to South Memphis for this summer camp. And so we even did like mock death calls throughout the night. I would get up or just be up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would call them to see who would answer the phone and see what they sounded like, see how they sounded at 3 in the morning if they ready to take a death call. And I would give them, like information about, a decedent. And then we would reward them to see who collected the most information and how they sounded and everything the next day or at the end of that week. So that was really fun, because some of them slept through it. Some of them sounded like zombies, and some of them did really good. They were like, I've been up all day waiting on your call. So it was really fun.
Well, it sounds like it. How long did it last? Because you guys really did a lot of stuff. It looks like, based on the pictures. You've got people, you got kids in the prep room showing them how to do things. You've got kids in the selection room teaching them how to fold American flags. Looks like you've got quite a number of speakers. I mean, this had to have been a couple-day event, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
and it was a full 2 weeks, and it was only
2 weeks.
like 4 hours a day.
It was 4 hours a day. Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and we took them to Northwest also. They went to Northwest, which is the school we graduated from. Yeah, for funeral services.
No
so
kidding.
Yeah, that was great.
Now, how many at the end said, you know what, I think I want to be a mortician now?
At least half.
Did they?
I think half of them were. Like, only one person got a little, like, I guess, queasy or, at one point. But everybody else, they were like, those are some strong kids, because it was like nothing could faze them. And the only thing that got to her was the smell of the chemicals. Like, but, we warned them and their parents about that. But that was the only thing. But those were some tough kids.
Yeah.
Well,
they even now, they still contact us now, and they like, oh, can we come and hang out? Can we come and work funerals? And can we come do makeup and everything? And some of them are interested in forensics. So it was, good to give them that experience of meeting the individuals who actually work in those careers now. So like, if they need letters of recommendation or anything like that, they can contact them. And, they have that acquaintance now through our summer camp.
Yeah.
So that was really good for them too.
Good deal. Wow.
And the parents wanted to be a part of it. Everybody wanted to. We turned away a lot of applicants. We had 12 applicants altogether, 12 attendees.
Yeah.
And so we turned away a lot of them, due to our space. We were only able to take in 12.
Sure.
But throughout, the parents were calling and older individuals were calling and asking if we would do something for them as well. So that's something we've been thinking about and working on, like topics and things like that, to help educate and enlighten, the older crowd about those things as well.
Well, just the amount of planning that had to go into getting this done has got to be immense. I mean, you've got connections listed here, like you talked about, taking them to the cemeteries, taking them to the crematory, to the forensic centers, different funeral homes. I mean, you guys, this wasn't just a plug for Afterlife. This was really a way to say, let's get everybody we can involved.
Right. Yeah. And that really made it go so great, because everybody was like, sure, I'll come over and talk to the kids, or sure, you can bring all those kids over here to our place. But everybody was so willing to help, and it just made everything go off without a hitch. Like, it was great.
That's to me, that's really amazing that you were able to do that. A lot of times we see local funeral directors, funeral homes, mortuaries that they get along with each other, but ultimately they don't really want to work too well with each other. But you guys seem to really embrace the community, and you've got other funeral homes involved with this. You've got the other entities that in and around funeral service, highly respected. Obviously you guys are very highly respected to be able to pull something like this off. And I would love to someday get down there and check this out, but certainly something that I think that you guys should continue to do as a way to give back to your community.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, COVID slowed it down. We weren't able to do it this past summer, but it's definitely something we want to continue on. And then, like I said, we're even, we've been brainstorming different topics and more topics and more professionals that we could bring in for the adults, and we would like to get into like the legalities of it, pre-planning and planning, things that you need to look for on paperwork, basically things that we educate our families and the community on when they contact us for funeral services, because it's a lot that people just don't know, because for, a lot of families, it's their first death, or it's the first death in many years. And so they're not familiar with the planning process. And so to help them to be more comfortable with the process and not to be taken advantage of, regardless to where they go for services. We want to provide that education to them.
Yeah. So again, I got to finally meet you in person in Nashville, but you were working at the convention. You were actually in the booth for Frigid Fluid.
Yeah.
How are you connected to Frigid?
We are brand ambassadors and embalming
specialists. Yeah, embalming specialists.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And fluid distributors. So, but it gives us a different approach to distributing fluid or selling fluid, because we actually use the product. So we're both licensed embalmers. I'm licensed in Mississippi and Tennessee. Mel's licensed in Arkansas and Tennessee. So we've been embalming over 10 years each. So and now we use strictly Frigid Fluid, and we are able to practice and we're able to put it to test. And so we're able to give different scenarios to potential customers of how they can use the fluid and how well it works. And basically it's just like a how-to guide, like we're walking how-to guides.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And they got a lot of pretty cool stuff going on over there. I mean, the amount of different types of chemicals and things like that they're coming out with rapidly, but they've got some that whole I gotta tell you, give them a little props here. That label contest.
Oh yeah.
What a cool idea was that?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Create
and
your
it
own
was really
embalming
fun.
fluid label. I bet. Yeah.
Some of those entries were like, wow, like it's some really talented people out here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that blew me away when I first saw that they were doing that, and then actually got to see the end result. How cool is that? And how engaging for a company to get their people that use their products excited about something. That was great.
Definitely,
and it was the engagement across the social media platforms was really cool. Just connecting, embalmers and funeral directors state to state and even country to country, through something like that. It was a really great opportunity, to promote the fluid and give them the platform to be creative and share their creativity with everyone. And so now, the winner, of course, her label is on the 36 plus embalming fluid. So everyone's been calling and placing orders. So they have those bottles in their prep rooms now with those labels on it. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, in the short time that I've known you both, I can honestly tell you that Frigid has some great brand ambassadors. I think the two of you are just awesome individuals. What you've done, just not just coming out as the first female African-American funeral home, which just that in and of itself is such a remarkable thing. But I am super pumped about this death camp, or not death camp, but funeral. What
funeral service. Funeral services education.
Yeah, that is just the coolest thing to me. I mean, I would have loved that when I was a kid, and we always talk about doing something for our community and to give back to them. But what a great way to do that and to get activity and people involved. I mean, you guys have just come up with some remarkable ideas and implemented those.
So thank you.
I've been pumped to get you guys on here after meeting you. I was hoping to do it down in Nashville, but of course that didn't work out. Everybody was so busy, but
it was so hectic.
Yeah. Well, After Life Mortuary Services, you guys are in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to just go out on a whim here and say that if you guys need anything in the Tennessee area, Afterlife is a mortuary that you can call on and reach out. I'm sure these two gals would be more than happy to assist you.
Absolutely.
Mel, tell us, Mel, how would one get in touch with Afterlife? What's the easiest way?
The easiest way, is to pick up the phone and give us a call. Our number is 901-600-3999. I guess the second easiest would be Facebook or Instagram. we're on there quite often. And so they could, like and follow and send us messages on those. On Facebook, we're After Life Mortuary Services. And on Instagram, we're After Life Mortuary. We're on LinkedIn also. It's After Life Mortuary Services. And on Snapchat is Ladies of ALMS. And then the website, of course, is almsofmemphis.com. They can go on there as well and connect with us. And we're here 24/7, 365.
That is cool. Well, Mel, Dana, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure to have you on here. And we'll definitely be helping you to promote the not only what you're doing there, but as well the funeral service education camp. That is just that's the coolest thing. And go on, check it out. almsofmemphis.org. Check out the funeral service education camp, the pictures, check out the whole website. You'll be impressed. And if you ever get a chance, stop and see Mel and Dana.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us. This has been fun.
Absolutely, ladies. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, great.
All right.